I'm over this shit. This time, we have to change. Are you? Are you actually over it? Have you reached a point where you will do whatever it takes? Whatever is asked of you, regardless of feelings, thoughts, obstacles, everything. You will do what is required. Have you reached that point? Because if the answer is not a resounding fuck yes, then you can't truly be over it. Because you're not there yet. You're not willing to do whatever it takes to get that job done. You're not willing to push into what is required. So you can say that you're over it, but you haven't actually reached that. And I say this because I was having this discussion with a friend, and together we're trying to hold each other accountable to some big step ups in our lives. And we've been talking about it, and we've been talking about it, and we've been talking about it, and we've been talking about it. And we do bursts of energy. And then we fucking stop. And then we do a burst, and then we stop. And it is the ultimate one of talk a big game, don't act a big game. It's this ultimate of, yeah, it's nice in theory, but clearly we're still willing to tolerate where we're at. We're over this shit. We're over repeating this cycle. We're over doing this over and over and over again. And yet here we are, over and over and over again, doing the same shit. Ending up in the same place. And that's a fucking problem. That's an issue. And that's what's causing our pain. Because though we're uncomfortable, though we're in pain, though we don't want to be here anymore, clearly the pain isn't enough to force us through. And we've spoken about this before, that the problem with a lot of change, of making big adjustments in your life, is that to truly do it, it comes from a place of pain. To truly do the work and sacrifice and push through, new pain, you have to be in so much pain that you're willing to do whatever it takes to reach the other side. And the reason why most people yo-yo back and forth, especially if we're talking weight loss or money or success in any area of life, the reason why they progress forward and then come back down and progress forward and come back down is because you step outside of the pain and then you revert back. Because you leave the point that made you so uncomfortable that you didn't want to do it anymore. That you didn't want to stay in that position. And so you leave that, the thing that was causing you the pain, that was causing you this discomfort. If we're talking about, weight loss or, health or anything like that, you hated the man in the mirror. And so you reached a point where you don't hate him anymore. You're not happy by any stretch of the imagination, but you don't look in the mirror and go, what the fuck am I doing with my life anymore? You go, I wish it could be better. I wish that I looked better, but it's not so painful that it cripples you. It's not so painful that it forces you to change. And this is the problem, that unless you can, A, create discipline around the new thing fast enough, or B, hold on to that chip on your shoulder, that pain, that discomfort long enough to push into the next stage, you'll just revert back. You'll just come back to that original place and be like, oh, here we are again. Because that's comfortable. It's known. It's easy. It's much safer to stay in a known hell than it is to push into an unknown heaven. And you have to break that cycle. And it's why you have to attach meaning to these things. It's why you have to find a way to push forward, to do more, to be a better version of yourself. And you need someone there to hold your standards. And that's what I've been discussing with this friend. I'm like, we need to not just be like, yeah, we're going to do this shit together. Like, we're going to change these habits together. It's now we're going to set a standard. And we're going to hold each other to the standard. And there's going to be consequences for not holding each other to the standard. And there's going to be rewards if and when we break through. Now we're playing on a different game. This isn't a pie in the sky, would be nice, hypothetical moment. It's now a, this is what we're fucking doing. This is what we're going to do to get this done. We're going to commit to it. We're going to hold the standard. We're going to hold the line. And I think frequently you need someone more than yourself. You need someone else to hold you accountable, who's going to hold the hard truths, who's going to tell you the unkindness that you're not doing good enough, that you're not being enough, that you're letting yourself down, that you're letting others down by not doing the work. And you need to be held to that standard, and you need to be reminded of the standards you set, because you need to set the things that inspire you to the action. You need to set the things and then have someone else hold you accountable and remind you of those things. So the standard being that, you know, you're going to do those workouts, you're going to do those weighted walks, you're going to eat that healthy lifestyle, you're going to do the right choices. But also, not just the standard that you're being held to, but what are you saying if you don't do that work? And the one I always come back to, and it's harsh, and people don't like it, but I think it's true, and it's now, I applied it to myself with my health and fitness, and I elevated that game, and now I'm going to have to apply it to this area of my life, with a new business, with that accountability to not just be good at business, but excel into being great, to delivering an incredible business and being the best version I can be on that. I need to attach it to, I am failing my family. I am letting down my daughter. I am letting down my son. I am letting down my wife. I am letting down my friends. I am letting down those that I serve. Every time I choose the easy way out. I choose not to get uncomfortable and step into the things I do not like. I am failing them. And I think that's the standard I have to attach to it. And the other one, depending on where you're at, and you can attach it to this, but for myself, I think the other one I have to think about is, and I had this from a friend and mentor a long, long time ago, and they said to me, how many people are you letting down, not serving, and not changing their lives by not doing the work? How many lives are not being improved and fulfilled because you chose not to do the work? And look, with your health and fitness, that could be way more than you actually think it is. It could be just, because it starts with your kids, it starts with your wife, then it starts with your friends, and then it starts with those around you. And it builds and it builds and it builds. But how many people? Is it tens, 20, 30 people? Is it hundreds of people? Is it thousands of people? Is it millions of people? Because you also got to remember that it's not just that one life that you directly impacted. If you truly help someone make a lifelong change, then there's impact on all of those areas. There's impact on all of those lives, not just the one that you directly impacted. It's on their family and their friends and their children and their partners, and the list goes on and on and on. So how many people are not living their best life because you chose not to, because you chose the easy way out? How many people? Because I think a lot of the times we can be sick of our shit, and as I said, but it's not so painful that it forces you to change. It's not so painful that you're willing to give up everything else to become that version of you. So I think you need to attach it to something else. You need to attach it to someone else. You need to make it bigger than you. Because it's really easy to just be like, when it gets uncomfortable, I didn't actually want it that bad. I didn't really need it that badly. It's really easy to just give yourself cop-outs on that. The harder thing to do is to push forward and be like, my little girl, my little angel who loves me more than anything in this world, I'm letting her down. And though she has no comprehension of that, looking into her big, beautiful eyes and being like to myself, I failed you. That shit hurts. My little froggy boy, my son, looking into his eyes, and all he does is love. There is nothing but love and adoration in that kid's eyes. Looking into his eyes and going, no. I decided my comfortability in the moment was worth more to me than doing the things that would change our lives. That shit rings hard. That shit is a punch in the gut. And that stuff is the thing that you need to remind yourself of. You need to think about that every day. And one of the things I'm going to do with this friend of mine is, and I recommend you do it too, is you write out a contract to yourself. I, Lachlan Farley, am holding the standard of blah, 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 blah. List out the things that you are going to do that are unquestionable, that regardless of emotions, of feelings, of obstacles, of challenges, of anything that is placed in your way, are getting done. Zero choice mentality, zero excuses. That shit is getting done. Write it out. And I mean handwrite it. Like, you can print it out the first time, but handwrite it. It ingrains it more in you. And then sign it. And then give it to someone to hold you accountable. And I would put in the things at the bottom that if I do not meet these standards, if I do not hold this line, I am failing, for me, my daughter, my son, my wife, my friends and family, and those that serve me. I am letting down these people more than I have let down myself. I have failed them, and I am not willing to fail them. I am not willing to look into those eyes and be like, I chose not to do the work because it was hard. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't feel like doing that work. I didn't do the work because, I was sad, I was tired, I was whatever the fucking reason is. So you look at that all the time, and you have someone else to hold you accountable to that standard, that they are going to hold you up to that standard. And the standard that you've set, it can't be arbitrarily designed by others. It needs to be designed by you with your words and then handwritten out and put into your terminologies. Because then you own it. Then it's on you. And now you have a reminder, and I'd put it somewhere that you are going to see every single day. And make multiple copies maybe. Maybe create different versions of it and put it in different places that you are going to see multiple times a day, A, and B, at times that you might decide to take a cop out, to take the easy way out. So for me, it'd be at my desk. So whenever I feel like I'm going to choose the easy option and not do that work, there is that stark reminder of I am letting down my family. Maybe for you, it's around your health and fitness. Maybe it's around the exercises that we keep talking about. I keep providing the answers and keep telling you what to do. Maybe it's around those. And so you put it on the fridge, or you put it in the bathroom mirror, or something like that. You put it somewhere and you make it really abundantly clear. And you see it all the time. And it is this glaring reminder that you need to do the work, that you set a standard, that you aren't happy with where you are, and you know that you can do better, be better, and are going to be better. Set that standard, make a change. Very few people in this world will ever truly actually change. And because it's fucking hard. It requires so much more effort than anyone ever wants to give. It requires so much more commitment than anyone wants to give. It requires so much more than people want to do. So step up. Step up and own that. Step up and be that guy. Because now is your moment. Now it's on you. So are you ready to be held to that standard? Because it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable to be held up to the light and see all your issues, to see all the areas that you are letting people down, that you are failing. But until you can do that, nothing is going to change. So write yourself the contract. Write yourself the contract of the standards that you're going to keep, of the things that you are going to do, regardless of feelings, emotions, obstacles, or challenges. Set those standards. Give it to someone else to hold you accountable. And start changing your life for the better. Because you owe it, not just to you, but to your wife, to your kids, to your family, to your friends, to those who you will serve, and to those lives that you will change and impact. And I mean it when I say, you might not feel like that your health and fitness will impact anyone, but I can promise you it will. You'll inspire others by your actions. You will raise the standard of those around you. And you will lead by example. And that is what is required. And we need more men in this world who are willing to lead by example and to do what is required, no matter what. So that's my challenge to you. Raise those standards. Write that contract. Lead by example. And if you're ready to actually do that, to have someone else hold you accountable and make sure you get your shit done, please shoot me a message. Let's get you into the Chasing Greatness 30-day challenge. And let's see you set that standard and actually make a change. And if you're not quite there yet, please click the link in my bio. Grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness and join the daily greatness. And lastly, if you took value from this, or if you know someone who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, let me know. These are here every single day. There's a daily podcast and it's here to make you better. So that's all I have for you. Until next time.